Hello from the east to the west and all the rest. We're back here at Mundaring for the conclusion, the back nine of round 3 chase card for the WA Open 2023, presented by RPM Discs and supported by Disconnection and Disc Golf Warehouse. I am Ashley Wiedner from PRKD Media, and I am here, as always, with my sidekick, Kyle Herbertson. How are you, Kyle?
Hello. We've got the absolute pleasure of Jacob Davies joining us today, who you'll see on the card, and seeing how he attacks hole 10 particularly. 180 metre par 4, very testing first shot. Players wanting to turn something over and climb this hill to the left gap, which they will see just approaching us now, down towards the basket over this tee pad. Quite a challenging hole. Players wanting to bite quite a lot off of the drive to make the second shot as easy as possible.
Definitely. I think we got pretty lucky with the wind in this round. It was kind of a tail left to right, which helps get the disc over if you get enough angle on it. Smoked one up here. It's way down there.
Huge, yeah. Cutting into even the start of that second tunnel, so crushed off the tee. We'll see. Might be a bit of an awkward footing with a couple of those trees.
Might do a bit of a pattern bending or something there. You can go in the forehand. That's to be expected, but you can get into it certainly in a good spot if you get enough distance with the forehand. Just pull it over a little bit there.
Yeah, it does so nicely. I think if you got it, the play is definitely this turnover that Frosty will demonstrate. Just the extra height being on Anheuser will help you climb that hill a bit more, rather than the forehand that'll cut in a bit early.
Yep, you need the distance. A little bit low out of the hand, but it gets far enough off there to have a look in. Trusty, flippy D2 here.
I was going to say, I know that apricot colour anywhere.
Everyone needs a flippy D2 in their bag.
Well and truly. Didn't quite get over on it enough there, but that will be just in bounds there. A little bit tight on the side. Doing the smart play. It's actually much more open if you play long, sort of right of that actual tunnel fairway, as they say. That left side is really thick. A lot of grass trees there at the end of the end. Trying to pitch out into the fairway here. Little gap right in front of me. Get that one.
Does so beautifully. Yeah, a bit awkward from Jade here.
Just a few metres left away, rather me. Yeah, see, his right foot was just slightly above his left, and then that threw him off just a little bit. That P3 acts nicely.
Yeah, makes good of the second approach, but after that drive, definitely be feeling a bit sad not getting that birdie.
Yeah, exactly right.
Probably the furthest up that I'd seen any of the drives the entire weekend.
How do you take a par from the oars off the drive?
Leaving himself a bit of work to do there.
About 9 metre putt from Tim here. Turned it nicely. Down for par.
Yeah.
Was that bogey?
No, Dan got away with a par there.
That's right.
Yeah. So this hole playing point one over par for the weekend. So, playing a little difficult, and only two birdies on the day there.
Yeah, certainly a tough one in the wind. Hole 11, another one exposed to the wind here. Just trying to play to avoid this OB kind of triangle on the right there. Safe all in the left side fairway. It pinches up a little bit at about 130 meters. That white tee pad on the left. You can play into the bushes on the left and try and pitch something through, or send something as long as you can over the top of it, in that sort of 145 realm, and try and pitch into this semi-protected green and take the birdie you want to get with the tailwind open doors as well. Okay, getting it low.
So when we look at it from a TD perspective, Jacob, and I guess a course design perspective, when we look at that triangle of OB down the fairway, are we trying to protect an area of the course or some local flora, or is that just for the hell of it, let's try and force a shot?
We've always played with kind of like a bubble on the right side. This is slightly different to the normal way. It's sort of the intention of the course design when they put it into the Aussie Open. I sort of made it that little bit longer than usual, so you really have to commit to something to get on that long side. Normally, sort of myself, Blake and Alex, throwing in that sort of 140 range can pretty much just send whatever we want out there on Anheuser and be safe long of that OB. But having to properly commit to one if you want to get it long on this one.
Yeah.
As you've alluded to nicely, absolutely crushing that.
I think that was good.
Yeah, I needed to let go of one.
Yeah, timed
Beautiful
your
turn.
description of that shot design or that course design perfectly to coincide with yourself executing that stunningly and skipping perfectly. Beautiful shot.
Yeah, very happy with that one. It was very hard to tell if it was in or out. Gary, once again, hands full, couldn't really give us much information. Playing the full-hand second shot, I'd be just kind of edge of circle.
By better judgment, I'm going to do this.
Oh, Dan. For those who couldn't hear at home, against my better judgment, I'm going to throw this as the prelude to this shot.
E1X. Did have a tailwind.
And that is just absolute butter.
It looks quick on camera, but that just seemed to float so nicely. Just so much touch.
I'm looking for Dan using the force or something, just to force that disc over. But no, he's just got so much touch and so much faith in those museum pieces that are in his bag, those collector's items that he throws around disc golf courses most weekends. It's lovely to watch. So we see Jacob from that stunning drive and allows himself the right to just pitch up here.
Yeah, I'd like to be a little bit closer. I'm thinking about 5 or 6 meters, so happy with that one. From Jade.
Beautiful birdie there from Tim. Good conversion.
Happy with that.
Yow! Birdie.
Very nice.
Come back
It's always a good one to get it. It's always a good one to get, especially leading into hole 12. Just having that extra little shot buffer, maybe.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean,
yourself.
yeah, hole 12. You just if you're out of position, taking a bogey is just fine.
Yeah, as we take a look at this first tunnel for hole 12. Players wanting to shoot through this about 120 metres to this golf tee pad. And then from the golf tee pad, we head straight down the hill. You see that OB scrape on the right-hand side of your screen. The basket just sitting on the right edge of that. Mando here, halfway down the fairway, just to catch any wayward discs, but otherwise the main trouble being some OB long in the basket, sitting at about 13 or 14 metres. Very challenging hole, 255 metres. It's a long way. We'll see if they can get down there.
Second hardest hole in round 3 after hole 5. Surprising in the wind.
Yeah. So like maybe we can add the Terminator music, you know, the dun, 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 under that flyover for release, Kyle. Maybe I can just do it. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
It feels like you can hear that in the background as you walk up to this tee pad, I tell you what. Even in the casual round,
Yeah.
saying, oh god, what's going to happen this time?
Yeah, it was a thought that I had. There's a hole on most courses that you'll play where you go to that course and you're just like, oh god, hole 7. Yeah, once I get through that, I'm fine. I probably don't need to ask if this is that hole on this course, Jacob.
Yes, it certainly is. I was stoked with that drive. But yeah, and we've, of course, had a headwind on the tee shot here, which just made hitting that gap 10% harder.
Jade gets quite a way through before collecting a late tree, so should be in the clear.
Pretty good spot. Going for a real aggressive turnover line here. Way down there.
Yeah, it gets way down there.
Happy to be there after 2 shots.
Every time.
Tim actioning his self-proclaimed hole 12 curse of being near the Mando for his second shot.
He did tell us some stories of his mishaps on this one. Dan placed it just in front of the golf tee here. It's probably hard to see his disc just over it. He's done well to give himself a second tee pad to play off.
Just launching that FD a little bit high, got quite a bit of turn, and then cannon back into this right-hand side of the screen, lost it in the sun.
I was in a pretty decent spot here on the left side, lining up my F3. So that tee pad there is the white tee pad. It's about 140 metres into the basket, fairly downhill. Just a little bit too much turnover with that head left to right, but it's just fine.
Yeah. So he'll probably get around the Mando from here, I'd imagine. Don't want to give him the commentator's curse, but I think I'm safe there.
He did talk about being 1 metre back and lacing it straight into the Mando tree in the previous round, so he was nervous.
He's done well there, Tim. So many times we've seen that forehand approach just curl up and roll underneath the basket.
So much touch. A firebird from only about 45 metres. It shows a lot of touch.
Jade with, dare I say, a long look for birdie after that less than perfect drive.
Yeah,
Making it work.
Very aggressive.
Puts it under the basket.
Oh. Dan from a standstill putt from, I can't gauge distance, but it looks, back of C2 further?
Probably outside C2, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Happy to get the par there. Honestly, getting the par, it doesn't quite feel like a birdie, but definitely feels better than your average par.
Oh, Tim.
Oh.
Definitely could have caught a little bit left, but could have caught.
Yeah, I was just about to say the elusive par frame on hole 12, but the basket denies me that pleasure.
Yeah, Tom McNeely cameo there. Hole 13, par 3, 98 metres, slightly uphill here. Trying to just, hit this first gap, doesn't really come into play. Get through this late gap at the basket, not pull it too early right or come up early right with the forehand. Safe on the left side for a little downhill putt.
This Iron Samurai 2 from Dan.
Up in that closet tree a little bit there.
Beautiful shape out of it, and then just denied by that tree.
Pulled my own forward a little bit right here. Okay, coming up a little bit short there, open look, edge of circle.
Yeah, Jade really starting to wind up over these last couple of holes. Looking forward to some fireworks. Tim lining up his forehand.
If you've got it, the forehand definitely shapes a lot better for going to the basket. Coming up a little bit short there.
Yeah, it doesn't look it on camera, but that initial gap just makes that backhand just that little bit nervy. Even the slightest grip locks, and then beautiful putt from Jade.
Lovely.
Right on edge of circle.
Runs it in. Lovely from Dan for a birdie also.
Maybe up a little bit. Disappointing one to miss low.
Blended in so nicely. It's the camo.
As we jump back into hole 14, we had a brief reprieve from par 4s, but we're straight back. 235 metres players shooting out of the tree line into this open fairway, looking to get as far down as they possibly can. The only danger, the OB on the left, wanting to get to about here for an 100-metre approach, avoiding the sand green and skipping up to this basket. Some OB guarding the back of the green at about circle's edge just beyond. Really quite a challenging approach with how dry this ground is here. As we do a donut around the basket.
There's a little bit of a head right or left maybe on this one. Something like that. Or at least it was a headwind. It was made it tough to commit to a shot.
And it doesn't look like you get much out of the trees. A lot of courses, you'll be able to get a wind read ahead down the fairway from the trees, but it looks like they're remaining fairly stoic here.
It's definitely a challenge as well. With the way the thick trees are in the fairways, the wind kind of funnels through in some unique ways, which makes it hard to tell which way it's actually going from the forecast.
Yeah, I mean, this course is easy enough, right? So add some wind into it to make it a bit challenging.
Need something to guard it.
Tim and Jade both just a bit low there. I've quite a bit of work to do.
It'll be a long second shot. Clubbed up to my more slightly stable 500 D1 here.
There's a nice control shot. Nice jagged.
Beautiful shape. Beautiful distance.
Out
Out of the D1.
Didn't expect that to turn so much.
I got that the one slightly beat up already. It's from those nice 500 run.
Beautiful.
Better be short of it.
I can't get my D1 to do anything but fly at a 45-degree angle to my left, so yeah, it's lovely.
Tim said, "Oh, I was never running that," and coming up 1 meter short of the sand green.
Look, as Ash mentioned
Whoa.
in the bag in the front 9, Tim's rangefinder playing an important role.
Playing the skip shot around the side there.
Beautiful from Dan.
That's like one. This is A2. He's just safe. About a foot. Another one where I'm asking Gazza the question and he's running away to get ready for the next hole.
Yeah, it's certainly an extra service that our camera operators will provide for players if they can, calling OBs and in and outs and that sort of thing.
Exactly right. It's a big ask. Gazza did a fantastic job on the weekend.
Ooh.
Oh,
Just a bit high
Yeah,
there.
did an amazing job stepping up and learning on the job and following around after playing in the morning as well. So a massive shout
Very
out
hard
to
worker.
Gaz.
bang!
Good comeback
Looks
at
good on the
again.
comebacker.
Good pass from Tim. He's so quick.
He is. It's something those, as I was saying earlier, those Canberra boys do pride themselves on. Austin, Dan, Jade, they're just playing as quick as they can.
They get through it.
Oz Discs, powering Team Heiser Flight. Check them out at ozdiscs.com.au.
Alrighty, par 3, hole 15, 120 metres. Probably plays a little bit longer than that, especially with a bit of this head right to left swirly wind. OB running down the right side and the back of the basket. Just trying to play your righty backhand hyzer nice and wide and push it up there. Really don't want to come up short left. There's just some really thick trees in there. Or go OB early right as well. Very hard to tell the wind here, being right up against the tree line. It looks so still, but there's certainly a bit out there at this time.
Oh no.
Dan makes his way there to about 13, probably.
Jade getting over on the throwing the head back.
I knew it was going to be a bit short left, but not too bad.
We can start to see the wind if we look at those feather banners on the right-hand side of the tee pad. They're not necessarily waving, but they're turning around in their sockets, hammered into the ground. You can see.
Sworn to Talcor again, yeah. A little bit too much higher there, coming up short. Good skip forward. 7 metres. Loving that tree. I actually hit that. Sorry, say again.
Oh, I was just saying Falcor is a luck dragon, so it's a very handy disc to have when
really?
you come up short. Yeah.
Yeah, I nailed that tree in round 2 as well. Dan had a few comments on that one.
The tricky avenue through there. This be Dan's second, just outside C1.
And it.
Wowzers.
To do that from outside C1 downhill, it looks on camera here, and just be able to give it that touch and height to dunk it in there. That's just a man that's played. He's thrown a lot of frisbees. A metre below, is it? Down there? Yeah, right.
Yeah, from where he was, I think so.
Yeah.
Pulled that one a little bit right. Had some weird footing, but walk away with the par.
Tim?
As well.
I thought I saw
Just
Tim
sneaks it
wiping
over.
his rangefinder before he did that putt.
Got to be sure.
Spit him out when they're that low, Kyle.
It'll find a way.
You'd get the distance just right.
Absolutely. Speaking of getting distance, hole 16, the massive par 5 synonymous with Mundaring, sitting at 375 metres. Players wanting to get out of the initial gap to just about here, whether it be a roller, an air shot, a forehand, anything that is a lot of distance, they will take it. Then for the second shot, wanting to shoot up to or over this ridge to commence the descent down to the basket on the third shot. OB sand green on the left, protecting any wayward shots, but otherwise the basket sitting down here awaiting the birdies.
I know you mentioned all shots, forehands, backhands, rollers are in play, Kyle. Can I shoot it out of a cannon, please?
You might be able to get part of the way down there if you did that.
I'll need the PDGA approval for that one. Thank you, Ashley.
So expecting that roller out of Dan on this hole, as we've seen before.
A little bit more left than in round one, but managed to get the late turn.
Same out of
A
Jade.
bit more aggressive.
Yeah, nice.
Looks like he stood that up.
Way
Yep.
down there.
Yeah, about the same distance as Dan, a little further. What's he done?
Happy with that spot for sure. Taking over forehand.
Oh, flutter boy.
Tim with a beautiful release on that forehand.
Yeah, it's just fine. Pulled this one inside a little bit, but managed to dodge most of the trees and be just behind that ridge there.
We see Tim
Tim
trying to
here
bite
coming.
off most of his distance in this shot.
Over, well, a destroyer.
Yeah, destroyer there
Yeah.
from Tim as the boys commenting in the background. Turnover Timmy, backhand Bowen. Got them all.
He 400 D1, yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of a headwind on this as well. Can't see the trees moving too much.
Get off it. Get off it.
So we've caught a tree there, but that was going a long way.
Got enough distance to be able to see the basket at least. A bit left from down then, we're hitting the group ahead, but should be fine.
Oh, Jade, this looks great.
A little bit more control on this second roller. The hillside kind of slopes down left to right, so you really have to know your angles. That is so far down there.
Done that beautifully. And shout out to Gaz there. As a catch cam operator myself, rollers are probably the most terrifying thing to try and film from down the fairway.
Yep. Especially on this one, you don't know necessarily if it's going to come out or what it's going to do.
Yeah, on an undulating fairway, it's if you're not someone that throws down rollers very often, and sort of has that, understanding of the way they roll and what's likely to happen. It's a very, very difficult shot to film. So well done, Gaz, there. It's Jacob just finding his way in beautifully, short right. Dan giving us a beautiful shot for our camera there. The greenery. And
a bit scary with the sand green there, but I'm not short left of it.
Uses the ridge. So Jade's third.
Jade for his third, yeah. Just about to say, he's a long way down there.
Yeah. See if he can throw one horizontally. He can indeed.
Nicely done. A little bit short, but we'll have a good look. This was a very tough look into it. Nailed that first tree.
Just coming up a bit short there from Dan. Possibly needing to give it a little bit more.
Oh. Basket looks a little shorter than it should be.
It is actually slightly lower. Yeah.
Tim, oh. Was that for 4?
That was for birdie, yes.
Yeah,
Oh, Tim.
birdie.
Oh, backhand Bowen. And look, we should say.
Well.
It is, okay. No, I didn't like it out of the hand at all.
Maybe a little bit short. Young Blakey Houston's flag on the top there. Get some read.
Ah, yes, we can see, yeah. Just a little bit once you get down to the green. See, yeah, it's comparatively to those flags on the tee pad. Yeah, I can see what you mean there.
Alrighty, hole 17, one of the signature holes on the course. Par 3, 120 metres downhill. Got the OB stretching back from the creek about 15 metres. You see the grass tree there. It's pretty much level with that. And then just on the creek side long, either really lay it up or send it over. I don't expect anyone in the MPO field to be laying it up. Just trying to put it close. You can get stuck in the left side there a little bit or long. You just want to be in bounds and have a pretty short putt.
Hmm.
Going that Doombird, I think, again,
Wow.
Hanging it out there. Beautifully weighted.
Beautiful, Dan.
Scary but open putt for birdie.
Yeah, this is the one hole on the course that I look at and go, oh, I'd love to play that. I'd dump it in the creek for sure, but I'd love to have a crack.
Open it up. Fortunately, the creek's pretty shallow.
Yeah, nice. See, backhand Bowen. Getting over on that, and he's going to want it to come back.
And that is huge from Dan.
Smoked it.
Yeah.
Get the line on it, but a little bit too much sauce. It'll be just behind that tree. Just lay up into the OD right next to the basket. Aggressive putt. Just a couple of metres ahead here. Still tossing up whether I was going to lay it up or run it right as I released it. Body took over.
Dan down on that knee again. Just evening out the distance. I guess the height between himself and the basket beautifully.
Yeah, great call with that OB close again. Ready to get. Hole playing a lot harder than expected, to be honest. The OB maybe added some fear factor there.
For sure. As we head into hole 18, the fear factor is high for a 95 metre hyzer. There's a little chunk of inbounds fairway just here, and then a gap of about 20 metres to this island where you'll find the basket. Inbounds being about 11 metres around the basket. Really want to get something close here.
As we get told that's OB. And those wonderful flag wavers up on the green.
We certainly added some excitement to the finish of the round.
Well, I'm looking at this for the last couple of days. Yeah, lovely from Jade. Ooh. I'm looking at this the last couple of days, Jacob. We've got that big white wall there on what I assume is the back of the club rooms there. Have we considered perhaps, a mural of, the winner of last year's WA Open each year? So, potentially that winner's just, in their winner's pose, staring at the competitors as they come up the fairway of 18. Local artists involved.
I'm not sure how the golfers and the bowls club would like that, but we certainly outnumber them these days. So, like you said, we've got some upgrades coming soon, though. I think we're getting a balcony on there pretty soon. So you see where that went, and allegedly it's hit something.
I can just see it just there next to the yellow flag.
Just in bounds. I completely shanked it. Apparently, it nailed
No way.
the copper log there and rolled in.
Is that your caddy just carrying a little fold-up stool? Is it, Jacob?
Yeah, apparently he has a back injury. I'm not sure how believable that is.
You got a cart, don't you?
Yes, I do. That's my mate Tom. Yeah, he pulled out in round one after a bit of a back injury.
Right.
Unfortunate. Hopefully
Well, I guess as a man coming off a recent back injury, well done, Tom, for even carrying a stool a couple of days later. Oh, wow. Yeah,
great.
Fantastic from Jade.
Unfortunately, only for bogey, but after those couple of runs from the shorter piece of fairway, a very good comeback to make.
Yeah. So we see Timmy for birdie.
Yep, another one. Tim getting the birdie on the big backhand hyzer.
Yeah. Well, a gallery will do that to Tim. He will turn it on for the crowds as Jacob in for three.
I was just stoked to get a par on that one, I tell you what.
But yeah, we do love commentating for Tim, and he, for anyone that's ever played around with him, they will absolutely agree with me that he gives as good as he gets as far as the banter goes, and he's a fantastic card mate and a fantastic sport. As we zoom out from that soon-to-be muralled clubhouse, I'm told, by Jacob, we look at the scores that our card have finished on there. Jay Brady coming in at 6 down, which will get him into sixth place. Dan with a great round of 8 down, or a score of 8 down, moving into fifth, with Tim in seventh and Jacob with 3 down and tied for 8th. Kyle.
Absolutely, yeah. As we take a look at the very exciting finish, we had our top 3 separated by 2 strokes, it all coming down to the last hole between Austin and Connor. Austin having to make a 9-metre putt to seal the win outright, and does so nicely. Importantly, facing away from the crowd, as he remarked the day before. But awesome to see him get his first win in the Aussie Majors this year. Been in the mix a lot, so incredible.
Including a birdie on hole 12 in that push to finish.
Wow.
So that's all from us here at Mundaring Sports Complex for the 2023 WA Open presented by RPM Discs. It's been a pleasure commentating alongside Jacob Davies and Ashley Wiedner, and we look forward to our next tournament, and we'll catch you then. In the meantime, take it away, Ash.
Park it.